At first, I did not think that the Epic Film Guys podcast would interest me at all. I'm not particularly movie savvy, and I definitely don't keep up to date on current events in the movie world. Quite frankly, I thought I would be lost. I listened to the podcast in an attempt to provide critical feedback on a forum, as I catch a lot of details and they were asking for constructive criticism. I listened to one episode after another and had no advice to give. The production quality was great, the editing and content were spot on. I was interested from the start, and best of all, I never felt out of the loop. On the contrary, I found myself learning more about movies that are coming out and being able to chime in on conversations with my husband about upcoming comic movies he is excited about. The hosts, Nick and Justin, come to each episode well-researched and prepared with interesting facts and stories that can be enjoyed by film buffs and novices alike. Similar to the way non-car people can easily enjoy car talk, people of all levels of interest in movies can enjoy and learn from the Epic Film Guys podcast.
Wow.
That was an award that we received from Lisa from the Our Story podcast. She actually started this just kind of her own awards for podcasts and recognized us as an indie podcast. So I just wanted to read that to you, Justin. That's what one of our new fans, I guess, said about the Epic Film Guys. So thank you very, very much, Lisa. We miss you, Saucy. Come back. We miss you. Can't wait to do that Harry Potter retrospective with him. We got to lock him down for one of these weekends, and then we're going to record 5 episodes at once, so then we won't need him for another 5 months. The lisp.
Deadpool.
In between moans at some club he was at. Lisp told me.
Tonight. It's airing in the UK, and we've a friend of mine, which is the friend of mine of a friend of mine, and a cousin of mine who fucked a friend of mine who stuck his cock in another guy's asshole, who was a friend of mine at a club, who wanted to suck my dick of a friend of mine at another club. It's a gay club, but that pretends to be a straight club. So a friend of mine. Yeah, so whatever. Ladies and gentlemen,
I don't even know where to go with that.
You wouldn't.
Let me tell you something about me that not a lot of people know. I used to be gay. I mean, I'm still gay, but I used to be really gay. Suck so many dicks I wouldn't get anything done gay. But,
Batman. Was that my sound check? Because I assumed it was.
Yes.
That's what I thought. Okay. I figured I would just
we're heroes now. We save lives now. Past can't change that. I mean, you used to sell swords and me with my excessive dick sucking.
And then they were like, here's Costas Mandalore. Everyone loved him. And it was like, oh my God.
I know, right? Where'd they dig him? What bar did they dig him out of? I hadn't seen him in forever.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't even remember that dude. After
Saw 7, they just very promptly put him back there and forgot about him. They locked the door and they were like, okay, now you're staying in here forever. God, I hated Costas Mandalore in those movies. Good Lord, his line delivery was always terrible. I'm John Kramer's assistant. God. You know who they could have gotten to do the role of Costas Mandalore or whatever?
Anybody
Detective
else?
Hoffman. They could have.
Hi, doggy.
They could have gotten Tommy Wiseau to do it. I'm sure he would have been available for it. Don't laugh at me, Tommy.
Never be sorry on the Epic Film Guys podcast. Never be sorry. Cut in, talk over.
I'm sorry every time I finish doing an episode.
Me too. I'm sorry that I have to talk to you every day, Nick.
Your description of Jai Courtney being the worst actor of all time, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I could totally see the worst actor of all time being Rick Flag. And then it's I look at the credits afterwards, it's Captain Boomerang. Oh, okay, that's why Captain Boomerang fucking sucked. Okay, that makes sense.
I 100% disagree. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, you better brace yourselves. All of our listeners out there know me. I hate Jai Courtney. He is the thorn in my side. He has ruined so many films for me. I have wanted him gone out of Hollywood for years. But guess what? I liked him in Suicide Squad. I liked him. I thought he was good.
I'm revoking my donation.
I thought he was great.
I'm unsubscribing. I'm returning all of my merchandise.
Good. Return it. Go. Please go. Please go. Go live with the Hopester. Please.
I will. He'll appreciate my double cheeses.
Justin, it looks like you and I are going to get to talk about our number ones together.
Because I know what it is. It's the same, is it not? Tell me, do you bleed? You will.
Yep. And I don't really think anybody that listens to our show is going to be at all surprised that Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice is number one on both of our fucking lists. I cannot fucking wait for this movie. I am the most ardent defender of Man of Steel because I thought it was fucking incredible. I don't care if you disagree.
I don't get the hype around this film. I mean, I get that it's going to be another cool comic book movie, but I don't understand why they keep giving Zack Snyder the keys to the kingdom as far as DC is concerned. Like, I thought Man of Steel was great. I love Man of Steel. But one of the things I do like about the Marvel Universe is they don't have the same director for each film. They have that revolving door, so we get different takes on different heroes. And with Zack Snyder, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be a dark, special effects driven. I mean, the stories are okay, but they're never really fantastic. And I'm a huge story guy. I love deep.
Yeah, but they haven't had Chris Terrio yet, though.
That is true. I think Terrio's script is going to be what's going to make or
We all
break this film.
know Goyer can't write a script to save his life. He's a good story person, but you never give him the chance to write the full script, and that's what we had for Man of Steel. So you got to give me credit on that much. I think Chris Terrio, bringing Affleck in with Terrio, especially for what he's done. You know, he's an Oscar-winning screenwriter. I think that for me, like, gave me the confidence, because obviously I could totally agree with you. If they're just going to let Snyder have carte blanche and then, hey, let Goyer write the script, I would have just took a few steps back and said, get the fuck out of here.
What's your number one, man? I got to know it.
Well, I mean, it's no surprise to anybody what my number one film of the year is, because
Justice League.
I've already
Justice League.
Get the fuck out. No, you're fired. That's it. That's it. Epic Film Guys is done. It's over. No. There's only one film that I've talked about since I saw it that was just destined to be my favorite film of the year. Even when I see The Shape of Water, it will be so hard to dethrone just the best movie of the year.
What kind of drugs do you take?
I know what it is.
It's James Franco's The Disaster Artist, baby. The chronology of this series is a muddled, just clusterfuck on top of another clusterfuck sandwiched in between two slices of bread and covered with some spicy hot mustard. The Epic Film Guys are most knowledgeable when it comes to their subject matter, and they take themselves seriously without being too serious. Isn't that a great description of our show?
I don't know.
I feel like it is. Because we do take ourselves seriously in terms of our opinions, but we always keep it fun. We always keep it light.
Does that mean they don't mean that I take you seriously, right? Because that would be a lie if they were saying
I
that.
know they don't mean that, because there's no way anybody could possibly think that. And so she continues, sound confusing, give them a listen, and prepare to be entertained and informed. So Meppa, thank you very, very much for that amazing review.
I'll suck your fucking dick, you motherfucker.
Joseph, let us in so we can suck your cock.
It is Gary Goddard's Masters of the Universe.
Oh,
you heard it.
My God.
Dolph Lundgren as
He-Man.
You know it.
Shit.
And Frank Langella as, honestly, very well performed, very well acted, put a lot of effort into the character and had a lot of say into the character. That's probably the reason why most people really, really have a soft spot for it.
Hey,
I have a problem with.
Hey,
what?
you assholes!
God.
Hey, I hear you talking about giving things away. I've been a part of this whole deal for a long time. I ain't getting nothing free. When am I getting something out of this? Are you smoking that crack that I offered you last week, or what? What do you got over there? I got that from a guy behind that divides. He said that was the fire shit. That's how he put it. I don't really know if it's good, but you smoking it now. Hey, Loy Sauce, when you gonna take me over to McDonald's to get me some free double cheese?
Oh, I will take you to McDonald's if you're really good, and you stay away from that booze and you brush your teeth at least once in your godforsaken life.
So
my
you'll
teeth.
never take him then, is basically what you're saying.
I really like that flannel shirt you was wearing there last time I saw you. I was hoping you'd give it to me to use as a blanket, but instead I froze my fucking ass off, you fucking pile of shit. Thanks a lot. You're not really that kind to a homeless gentleman like myself, are you?
I gave you a whole quarter.
How much is that gonna buy? I live where a bunch of rich people go. I hang out and live near the rich person's McDonald's, where they're willing to pay $3 for a double cheese. Ain't no one there spending no dollar because they're on their cell phone talking to someone in some Hummer somewhere else. They don't give a shit.
Well, a quarter will get you 1/4 of a McChicken.
McChicken? Who eats that garbage? I want a McDouble. I want double fucking cheese. And in fact, I want you to come over to Ned Devine's right now. I know you don't live very far. I heard Justin say you live in the McAllister house. I know you're about 10 miles away.
You got 10 police off! My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks! In a row? Everybody leave that sausage? No, go past it. Past this part. In fact, never play this again. Don't say anything. Ladies and gentlemen, complete attention, if you please.
The Epic Film Guys Podcast.
I'm so happy I have you as my best friend.
Thank you very much, Bill. And thank you very much, Dan, for the 9 months. I love you. Woof. Never shave. Mountain Man beard. All right. So I need to do a noise test for my recording. So 10 seconds, please. That should be good enough. All right. Oh. I'm super excited to get everything started here. If you've already joined the stream and you're listening to some EFG history, if you're over on Periscope, get over on Twitch, join the conversation, or just hang out, watch the stream, whatever you want to do, that's fine. Welcome. Dan and Bill, welcome over in the Twitch chat. Recording EFG 182 this evening. Recording check 1 2. Recording check 1 2.
You sucked his dick!
Alright, soundboard's a little loud. Bring it down. Bring it down. Check, check, sound, check. I didn't realize it was 182, and now I'm sad that I'm not on. What? Why? Why, Daniel? Why? All right, so, oh, good dear God. Blink 182, that's why. All right, so this is going to be just kind of a loose, free-form kind of thing. The regular episode itself is going to be relatively short. Just going to get my Alita review in there. Some stuff up at the top of the show, and that's pretty much it. Not going to be too in-depth or anything too crazy or anything, but we're also going to be doing a live Q&A probably after the first break. I'll do the Alita review after that. I don't know 100% yet exactly what we're going to do, but welcome. So, let us, one more time, get some Jordan Green, baby. Mic volume helps. Mic volume helps. All right. We are live in 5, 4, 3, 2. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Epic Film Guys podcast. I'm Nick. No, Justin. No Loy Sauce. No anyone. I am here flying solo.
You're not my dad.
Yes, Lord. The God of podcasting is here, though, on high above us. But yeah, flying solo today, ladies and gentlemen. This will be a little bit of a shorter, a little bit more compact show. Justin, unfortunately, threw his back out and is probably going to be laid up for a few days. So I first put out the word. I wanted a guest. I wanted to get a guest in here that had seen Alita Battle Angel, which is going to be the feature review on the show tonight. But then I was like, nah. Because it'll be much easier to just edit myself and just put out the show as is. So stay tuned. It's going to be a wild and Nick-filled ride. And no Loy Sauce or Justin kinds of shenanigans whatsoever.
I want to see kid get strangled.
Well, you heard the man. So yeah, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This also marks the return of live Epic Film Guys. From now until at least the live stream for The Cure. I'd like to go after that, but hey, from now until the live stream for The Cure, live every single recording on twitch.tv/epicfilmguys. So please, please, please tune in over there if you haven't already. Follow the channel so that way you're ready for live stream for The Cure 3. Speaking of live stream for The Cure 3, remember May 17th through the 19th, 40 hours, ladies and gentlemen, 40 hours of live content coming your way from the Epic Film Guys, all to raise money for the Cancer Research Institute. 100%. And I actually got a couple messages about this over on Twitter, so I wanted to clarify this just in case you're new to the event, you're not sure what the event's about. 100% of proceeds, every single thing that we raise, every dime, goes to the Cancer Research Institute, and they in turn put 88 cents out of every dollar toward cancer research, immunotherapy research to cure all types of cancer. So just in case you were wondering, like I said, I did get some messages about that. We've got amazing podcast partners lined up for the show. Some first time, some returning. I am getting a really weird, crackly, feedbacky noise in my headphones. I don't know if that's my headphones. Nope. Live audience, how does that sound on your end? I've never heard that noise recording or podcasting before, ever. Let's turn the headphones off and turn them back on. Nick, edit this part. This might be... I think this is an issue, if I remember correctly, I think I have actually had an issue similar to this. Turning the headphones off and on seemed to correct most of it, though. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we're going to plow ahead regardless because I'm the only one recording. As long as the sound sounds fine, that's all that matters. Jared Taylor, welcome. B. Hargis, welcome. Yeah, that was it just sounded like a really weird, like staticky, like feedback noise. God, now I don't remember where I was. Oh. This is where Justin would yell at me and be like, we were talking about this or some such thing.
I want to see kid get stabbed.
I don't see how that's helpful at all. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, so please head over to livestreamforthecure.com for more information. If you're a podcaster and you're listening to this and you have not signed up yet and you want to take part in the event, the link to the spreadsheet is right there. All you have to do is look, find an open slot that says featured programming block, and then get at me on Twitter or email livestreamforthecure@gmail.com, and I'll get you signed up. It's as simple as that. I'll send you all the welcome emails, the whole package. All right. Now, even though Justin's not here, and even though I'm flying solo, it wouldn't be the Epic Film Guys. And the show felt naked without it in January because Justin was doing his 30 days, keeping clean, keeping sober and everything and really focusing on the gym. And I, in turn, maybe had a beer, some recordings, and then some I didn't. But the show's never really the same if we don't start off at the top of the show with a little thing that we like to call, what are you drinking?
I'm back. You can rally.
Oh, God. I left the God filter on.
Give me beer.
I left... What are you drinking?
I'm back. You can rally. Give me beer.
Thank you very much for the 100 biddies with the little heart, Bill. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. But ladies and gentlemen, speaking of Bill, ladies and gentlemen, this past weekend I went up to near Buffalo and visited my good friend Bill and his wife Melissa. And one of the things we did when we were there, we went to 42 North Brewing on my mirrored camera on here. You're welcome. And I actually picked this up the night before. I didn't even know we hadn't even gone there yet, but I picked up their Borderlands IPA. And this beer, you get a lot of tropical fruit. All their IPAs had a really, really kind of heavy tropical fruit thing going on. Mango, some passion fruit, and pineapple. And then as far as IPAs goes, it's so nice. It's very fruit forward, and it's got a very, very kind of light bitterness. So if you're the kind of IPA person that doesn't like your super dank IPAs, like the one I had on the show last week more so, this one's probably more your speed. Much more fruit forward. Like I said, you definitely get your tropical fruits in there, and you get some citrus. So this is a fantastic beer, and Justin's not drinking anything. I feel so bad for Justin. He messaged me a little bit earlier today, and he was just like, dude, actually it was yesterday. And he was just like, dude, I threw my back out. Like, he was laid up in bed pretty much all day today. He messaged me a little while ago and said, I can finally get up. I can finally move around. And, all the best to Justin. We really, really hope that he's feeling better. And the sauce, meanwhile, our very own God of Podcasting, is down at Alamocon. I'm sure getting to watch trailers and parts of movies and whole movies that are months away from release yet. And he's going to tell Justin all about them. And then he's going to tell Justin not to tell anybody. And Justin's going to tell people anyway, because he always does. But yeah, it's wonderful. Everybody's off and busy. And like I said, I wanted something simple this week. I wanted to make it easy. I didn't want to go crazy with all of this nonsense. I didn't want to go crazy with packing a show with guests, because it adds to my editing time. And nothing against any of the guests we've ever had. We've had some absolutely amazing guests. But I wanted to fly solo on this one. I wanted to ride it alone. All right. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to ride over into a quick break for a podcast partner for the upcoming live stream for The Cure. When I come back, Adam, welcome. when I come back, live Q&A time over in the chat. This is all going to get cut out of the main show, so whatever. And then on the back half of the Q&A, Alita Battle Angel, my review. Stay tuned. Big oof. I can't believe I left the God filter on for the way you drink it thing. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. I can't even. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be back momentarily, so you guys just hang on. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're live on Twitch right now, once again, this is just going to be the live Q&A part. This is all you guys. None of this is going to make the actual recording of the show, so I should probably just pause my recording. I'm not just recording nothing for nothing's sake. But yeah, this is all you. This is it. This is all for you guys. So just lay them on me. Just get whatever questions about whatever you feel like throwing in there. Just throw them in there. And if you're over on Periscope, again, if you're watching on Periscope, head over to twitch.tv/epicfilmguys and throw some questions my way. Throw some questions my way. Meanwhile, we're going to enjoy some Dance with the Dead. We're going to enjoy this all throughout, I should say. I really should. All throughout. Meanwhile, I'll try to keep the Hopester out of here.
I haven't been late in 25 years.
What to ask, Dan says. As long as your question isn't, what's my rating of Alita Battle Angel? Because we'll get there. We'll get there. If I had to choose between Guardians of the Galaxy or Guardians of the Galaxy, which would I pick? Hey, guy! That's Thoughts and Players podcast. Thoughts and Players. What's your rating of Alita Battle Angel? No. Bill, I would pick Guardians of the Galaxy because those are the other two choices that you gave me. I gotta do it, man. You've only given me those two choices, so you know. Now, if you would have put like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 or 2 in there, I would have had to pick 1 because, you know, it's the superior film. I'm gonna give this Q&A a big oof. And this is why, though. This is why I keep talking about Livestream for the Cure, and I keep talking about the importance of live streaming, because one of the things I really want to do the most is build up our streaming audience and build up that EFG Twitch audience. That way, we've got a nice kind of robust audience, a nice active chat all throughout the event when we're live in May. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Again, May 17th through the 19th, live stream for the Cure 2.0, 3.0, Jesus, 3, whatever. Getting numbers all over the place. But yeah, 40 hours of live streaming content. Adam says, you ever do a bag mash? Yes, in fact, that's mostly the way that I brew now. I usually do kind of a hybrid. I usually will do some dry malt extract and some grain, but I always like to have grain in there to just kind of accentuate and add a few different flavors. I've done full grain brews before, only a couple, and I mean, they turn out okay. They've turned out okay. They haven't been like, you know, the best thing in the world to write home about or anything, but they've been okay. B. Hargis says, which would you choose for best picture? Bohemian Rhapsody or Happy Time Murders? Bohemian Rhapsody, by far. By far. Both of them are terrible movies. Point blank. Both of them are completely terrible movies. But at least Bohemian has a Rami Malek performance in it that can leverage it into something. Not much, if you ask me, but something. Happy Time Murders is devoid of literally anything positive whatsoever. It's horrible. Worst movie of the year on my worst 2018 list, which we recorded a few weeks back. So yeah, oh god, Happy Time Murders. Why would you make me think that movie? Oh god, what a piece of garbage that movie is. Dan says, if a studio approached you to write a treatment for a remake, what would you remake? Can I remake Batman vs. Superman without Batman in it? I've already talked about that a number of times. My feelings about... I mean, listen, the script is perfect without Batman in it. If you remove Batman from that movie, fundamentally, nothing really changes about it in terms of its overall plot arc. Nothing really changes about it. It is what it is. Then we never would have gotten Batfleck, and then we would have never had to go through this drama, you know, Batfleck losing out and Matt Reeves wanting to hire Robert Pattinson. I don't even know. Who knows? Maybe, let's see. Treatment for a remake. What would I remake? Oh, God. You know, we just mentioned the Happy Time Murders. You could very, very easily remake that movie to be the movie the trailers promised it to be by just, number one, ditch the entire stupid, like, noir detective thing. Okay, you can have a plot, but it should be secondary to the fact that you just have puppets fucking. That'd be perfect. That'd be perfect. Give us the movie the trailers promise, because the trailers, literally all the funny parts of the movie are in the trailer. Cooling coils. No, Adam, I actually don't use cooling coils. What I do is I'll do 5-gallon boils. Roughly 5 gallons. I usually do between 5 and 6. And I will take half of my water and I will get it to just above freezing. And I will cool the wort for about 15 minutes after the boil, down to whatever temperature it gets down to. And you can put it in a sink with like an ice bath around it, and it'll help cool it faster. And then I will transfer that over into my bottling bucket, or my fermentation bucket, I should say. And then top it off with all the cold water. That's how I've made every single larger batch of my beer. Dan, thank you very much for the 5 hundo biddies with all them little hearts. Oh, fill that biddy cup up. Fill that biddy cup. But yeah, I've had extreme success with that, Adam, every single time. That way, I mean, the cooling coils are nice, like they're really nice, but A, they're just another thing to clean. B, they're expensive, and C, I mean, for what I do, for on the scale that I brew, I don't really see the need. I don't really see the point in spending the money on it. I really don't. So yeah, I just do half of your water, because I only have a 3-gallon pot, so I can only do 3 gallons, and then I have to basically do all my ingredients in that, and then I just have to basically add the water to scale it up to a 5-6 gallon batch. Dan says, what is the best commercial ever, and why is it Doc's G Fuel commercial? You just answered your own question, Dan. It is Doc's G Fuel commercial, because it is the best. Adam says, is it time for a Black Batman, aka Black Man? You know what? There have been a lot of people, like, before any of this Matt Reeves stuff happened, like months ago when they were talking, I don't know, it just popped up in social media circles or whatever. But Michael B. Jordan is Batman. I'd be 100% on board with that. Michael B. Jordan is an amazing actor, and I think he would definitely bring a good gravitas to the role. So I'd be all for it. I'd be 100% all for it. And Dan, be honest, you just cheered those biddies so you could take the bit leader position away from Bill. I would also cream myself in the meal. But that'd be like, that's like literally picture perfect casting. Picture perfect casting. I'd be fine. You know what? The most important thing in any casting decision, and this goes for literally anything that anybody, and you know fanboys would be up in arms. You know the fanboys would cry and complain and be up in arms and, oh my God, how could you do this or that? Doesn't matter. Does not matter. The most important thing is it good for the story? Does it work for the story, and do they give a great performance in the film? Like, people complained when Michael B. Jordan was cast as the Human Torch in Fan 4-Stick, which, I mean, we know what a garbage can that movie was, but people complained up and down, oh my God, you can't do this, oh my God, you blah, 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 blah. And it's like, the most important thing about Sue Storm and Johnny Storm is the fact that they're siblings doesn't necessarily mean that they're not, you know, step-siblings. Whatever. Works perfectly fine. I'm fine with it. And he was one of the best things about the movie. He was great in it. I mean, he didn't have a whole lot to compete against, frankly. But, I mean, he's that kind of actor where he's literally just a shining star in pretty much any project he involves himself in. So, like, I hate that. You know what? If it happens, if it gets announced, I'll just brace myself for the fanboy bitch fest that will inevitably come down the pipe, because they cannot help but just complain about literally everything. And that'll be my biggest frustration, is the backlash that it'll get. And Jordan would crush that role. Jordan would crush that role. Crush it. I want to kind of see it now, in fact. I kind of want to see it happen. Just because I just kind of did that in my own headspace. Kind of love it. I kind of really love it. Q&A is still open, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to just hit debate. Yeah. You know, the funny thing is, Dan, is Bill just bought the exact one. I have an Aegis mod. Bill just bought the exact same one. We went to a vape shop when I was up there on Saturday. Yeah, it's Aegis. I don't know exactly what the brand is, but it's got this leather, like little leather grip on it. And this is actually the tank from the one that Bill bought, because Bill already had a mesh coil tank. I did not. So he was gracious enough to give it to me. So thank you, Bill. This mod made me love, I was telling Bill about this, but this mod made me love vaping again. It did. Let's see, B. Hargis says, I'm all for Jordan as Batman. I would love it to happen. I would love it to happen. The problem is I don't know necessarily what they're going to do with the Creed franchise. I don't know how many more of those they're going to crank out. Would Jordan necessarily, even if the offer were floated out there, would he necessarily jump into another franchise? Because we know this is a 3-picture deal, whoever's signing on. And probably, you know, sprinklings of them throughout the greater DCEU. So if it even happened, you know, would Jordan necessarily be willing to do that? I could hope for it. I mean, you know what the funny thing is all they would have to do if they want to get, you know, like that old style, like 90s Joel Schumacher bat costume with all the abs and the pecs and everything, is basically just put rubber over Michael B. Jordan's chest, because he's already so cut and ripped, and just take a mold of it. They wouldn't have to just make it up and then slap it on an actor. Like, yeah, I can't say I disagree, Dan. B. Argus also said, who would you cast as Joker opposite to Jordan? I'm really intrigued to see what Joaquin Phoenix does with this Todd Phillips Joker movie. I really, you know, we know it's a period film, and we know that Matt Reeves films are also going to be part of the quote-unquote larger DCEU. So that leads me to believe that they'll also be period films. So, I mean, really, I love Joaquin Phoenix as an actor, and just seeing those two on screen together, and I think we're going to know who Batman is by the time we see Todd Phillips' Joker. We're going to know who's cast as Batman. So it's immediately going to begin, like, once we see kind of pair those two together. I'm going to stick, you know, I have faith in Joaquin Phoenix. I'm not going to err from that. I'm going to stick with Joaquin Phoenix. Aside from him, oh, God, you know, ooh, you know what? You know who would be great? You know who would be amazing? Because I adored him in Get Out. I adored him in Widows. Daniel Kaluuya. Daniel Kaluuya. Picture him as the Joker. Dude, and like, he's got such an expressive face, and his eyes are so expressive. Oh man, can we have that movie? Can that movie happen? But he does so much in Widows without even saying a word. Just his screen presence. It really, really saddens me that more people did not absolutely love Widows, and that it's nowhere near the conversation for award season this year. I adored it. I thought it was a fantastic film. It was marketed wrong. It was sold as a completely different kind of film. And, you know, of course it is about the widows who pick up and do the job, you know, for you know, their dead husbands who died on their last mission. But that's not what the film was about. Like, that was just a plot point in it, and that was like kind of your overall plot, but there was so much more packed into that. And I think people didn't necessarily go into Widows expecting all that character depth that they got, and maybe that's not what they kind of expect in a quote-unquote heist movie. I don't know. I really don't get why people didn't like Widows more. I adored it. I utterly adored it. Let's see. How will Quentin Tarantino's next film rank in his legacy? If the cast is to be any indication, this one's going to rank up there amongst the best. I will say, I mean, he's like, and people can say what they want about Hateful Eight. I'm biased because I did see it in that roadshow format, which extra 15 minutes plus the intermission really sold that package a lot better than just a straight movie does, like if you watch it on Netflix now or whatever. Much, much better overall. So even Hateful Eight notwithstanding, because I wouldn't necessarily rank it amongst his best, if you think about his other really current work, like Inglourious Bastards, like Django Unchained, he's still putting out some really, really good work in the later part of his career compared to the beginning part. So I think if he stays on track where he has been, I think this one's going to be just... it's going to be great anyway because it's Tarantino. I'd be hard-pressed to believe that it's not going to be great, but I think it's going to be really good. I cannot begin to tell you how excited I am for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Plus the cast. The cast is amazing. Bill Nye. Everybody else is like asking serious questions. Bill, Ghost, you're doing it. Ghost, because Ghost isn't a terrible film. It's not. It's fine. It's fine. Swayze's the worst thing about it, by far. Because he just can't stand up to the likes of Demi Moore or even Whoopi Goldberg. Like, performance-wise, he can't even compare to the two of them. Dirty Dancing is a literal dumpster fire. It is devoid of literally any, and I mean any redeeming factor whatsoever. None. It has none. None. I will never be convinced otherwise. Ever. I think we're going to wrap Q&A in about 5 minutes or so. So if you guys got any other questions, throw them in there. Top 5, I'm going to guess you mean Tarantino films, Adam? Let's see, I'm just going to start ranking them because I'm pretty sure that is what you mean. I would say... I just talked about Tarantino characters with Gerald on 2Ps as well, which was really, really fun. I would have to say probably number 5. No, I can't put that down there though. It's so hard. It's so hard. It's so hard. I'll get to that in a second, Bill. Ghost is nice. Yeah, Adam, I will say probably my number 5 would be Hateful Eight. I have a soft spot for it. Like I said, Ennio Morricone's original score, just amazing. I would say Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair, number 4. I rank Volume 2 above Volume 1, but I consider them one whole package deal. Number 3, I would say would be Pulp. Number 2, Inglourious Basterds, and number 1 would be the original Reservoir Dogs. Not that it's a better film, but sentimentally, it has more personal reasons why it's there. But yeah, I mean, that's... God, it's like, you know, how do you toss through all those? And that's not to take anything away from Django Unchained, which is also an excellent film. So yeah, there you go. And plus you have Death Proof, which a lot of people like to shit on, but I still like Death Proof. I like it. Kurt Russell's great in that movie. Serious question. Projection for Captain Marvel meaning good or terrible? I think we're in for a treat. Brie Larson is amazing. A lot of people are getting really butthurt because she's calling out Hollywood media for the fact that it's a whole bunch of white dudes who review movies. Very, very few minorities, very, very few women. And I think rightly so. You know, they need more people from more diverse backgrounds, more women, more, you know, people of color, more, you know, people from different ethnic backgrounds reviewing films. They really, really do. You know? I mean, you see how shitty this comic book culture is, and you see how shitty this fanboy culture is, and you see, you know, people still super butthurt over The Last Jedi 15 months later. You still see so many people that are, you know, extremely, you know, just huge crybabies about when the first trailer for Captain Marvel came out, they complained that she wasn't smiling. Like, what? Like, she wasn't... Who cares? Who cares? She's a battle-hardened warrior. You know? Like, it's absurd to me that that's even a thing, that that's even a consideration. And that's the kind of thing that fanboys complain about. Like I said, that's why if for whatever reason we ever got that Michael B. Jordan as Batman casting, the internet would just straight up lose its shit. And then we, amongst other people, I'm not saying we're the only ones, but we would be one of the voices of reason that would be like, Michael B. Jordan is an amazing actor, and he will crush this shit. You know? It does scream Phase 1, Dan. I will agree with you there. And here's the problem with Captain Marvel. It's the same problem that Ant-Man and the Wasp had, even though I did really love that movie way more than most people. But the problem is Endgame. We all saw Infinity War. We just want to see how that story concludes in Endgame. I mean, yeah, we've got to put Captain Marvel's piece of that Marvel puzzle in there. But, you know, really, what we all just want to see Endgame. That's all we want to see is fucking Endgame. So it's got that kind of hurdle to clear of just being that placeholder movie while we're just waiting 2 more months. Actually, it's not even 2 months. It's like 6 weeks after Captain Marvel Endgame comes out. So it's like, you want us to sit here and just, you know, I mean, it's just got that hurdle to clear. And Ant-Man and the Wasp had the reverse situation where Infinity War came out, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp hits like 2 months later, and it's like, but I just want to see what happened, you know, after Infinity War, you know? Marvel kind of put themselves into that position where their model of releasing movies, they just, because they were going to split this story into 2 parts, it's like, you know, I don't know if people just didn't give Ant-Man and the Wasp enough of a chance, or if they'll give Captain Marvel enough of a chance, because they're just like, we just want to see how everything concludes and kind of figure out where Marvel goes from here. Because I mean, the MCU has been a phenomenal accomplishment, regardless of where you stand on some of the movies or whatever. Overall, it's been a phenomenal accomplishment for them to pull the whole thing off, and it's gonna end with Endgame. A lot of these actors are not coming back, so the whole entire scope of what the MCU is going to change. Now, we know that Disney's got the X-Men now, and they've got the Fantastic Four, and you have to believe that they're all going to play some kind of a role. What kind of a role necessarily remains to be seen, but you know, it's kind of, I think that at least as a fan of movies and as a fan of kind of the whole affair, that's where I am in that sense. Is I just want to know, you know, where it is. You know, I just want to know where the MCU goes from here. You know. Let's see. If this movie tanks against blamed on sexism, 100% that's exactly what will happen. But I don't believe it'll tank. Because you're going to have the same kind of thing that you saw with Wonder Woman. I mean, and it's about time that Marvel got on the ship here with, you know, having a female-led superhero film. It's about time they get on it, because, you know, little girls want to go to a theater and they want to see somebody who looks like them, who they can look up to, who's a girl, not just a whole bunch of boys. You know, it's going to be the same kind of thing as Wonder Woman, and that character means so much to so many people, especially little girls who really, really look up to that character already. And I mean, once the film comes out, that's going to magnify like 100-fold. So I really, really think that they're in that kind of position where it's not too big to fail. I think so. And especially since it's the MCU at this point. I mean, we haven't had a single bomb in the MCU. We've had some that have come in under projections, like that have come in way lower than you know, their expected gross, but there hasn't been a bomb in the MCU, and this one's not going to start that process. It's not going to happen. Definitely not going to. Tony rubs a magic lamp and Will Smith fixes everything. The end. Infinity Wars. I think that is as good a place as any to leave the Q&A. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take another break here, and when I come back, it'll be time for my review of Alita: Battle Angel. Stay tuned. go. Alrighty.
I sucked a dick last night.
That will be done. All right. I am recording again, so I'm just going to take a brief pause for a little sound editing footprint. Alrighty. So we will go in live in 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very, very much for joining us here on the Epic Film Guys podcast, or for joining me, I should say. Please send out your best wishes to Justin over on the Facebook page, over on Twitter, over on Instagram, at Epic Film Guys when we post the episode, and I hope he gets back up on his feet soon, because it's not the same. It's not the same doing this without him, and I know he's super, super frustrated because he got a chance to see Alita Battle Angel at the Smithsonian at the 6-story 4K laser projected IMAX, and I know he was blown away by the film, at least visually, and I'm sure we'll hear next week exactly what he thought about the film in terms of its content, but I really, really do wish that that he were here so he could talk about, you know, just kind of the film as a whole, just kind of how he felt about the film as a whole. But meanwhile, I am going to get into my thoughts on Alita Battle Angel, and right off the bat, I'm not going to push that rant button. You might expect me to, but I'm not going to do it because I really kind of dug it. I've seen some reactions on social media. We've got your hot takes. We're going to get to your hot takes in the third segment here, but I really kind of dug it. Now, it's not perfect, and by far the weakest aspect of this film is the script and one performance in particular that I'm going to talk about as we talk about the film. But overall, especially visually, and even I saw this thing at AMC Vestal, which you guys know if you listen to the show, if you're longtime listeners especially, that I have nothing good ever really to say about, you know, the theater, because it's not that big of a format. The screens are older. Nothing ever looks kind of as good as other people get to see it, especially when they see things in larger formats. That said, the effects in this film are unbelievable. Just absolutely incredible. But I want to talk about just kind of the film overall, and then we'll get into a couple of different things review-wise. Basically, in the year 2500 and something, you know, hundreds of years after this huge war that basically turned Earth into a pseudo-post-apocalypse, it's not quite as post-apocalyptic as some of your other post-apocalyptic fare, but it's still definitely after like this huge war. And Dr. Dyson Ito, who's Christoph Waltz, who is asleep half the time in this film, sometimes he just shows up on screen and I feel like he didn't know he was supposed to be in a scene and wasn't prepared for it, and is just like seemingly super kind of uninterested. Other times he's really, really good. It's kind of a weird performance, especially from Christoph Waltz, who's usually extremely solid. I don't know if maybe they had to do some reshoots and he just wasn't into it anymore, if he was just like, I've had enough of this or whatever. I don't know. But I love Christoph Waltz, so it's really, really tough for me to say that about him. But he finds this intact cyborg like torso and head that has a fully functioning human brain in it. So he takes it home and he grafts it onto the body of his deceased daughter and names it Alita after his deceased daughter. And she has no memory of who she was before she ended up in said scrap heap. And she meets a character named Hugo, who's Keenan Johnson. Worst performance, probably going to make worst performances of the year list. If we did a thing like that in the Epic Film Guys, we don't. But if we did, this performance would be on it. He's terrible. God-awful terrible. It speaks volumes when your lead character is complete motion capture CG and emotes better and is a more emotionally investing character than one of your human characters who's actually there living and breathing on screen. He's terrible. He's so terrible. A lot of his line delivery is really, really flat. And it kind of affects the movie on the whole because you're supposed to buy into this chemistry between he and Alita, and sometimes it's like his dialogue is so cringe, you're like, ah, God. Yeah, you never really quite recover from it. And this film also stars Jennifer Connelly, who is unbelievably gorgeous. Unbelievably gorgeous. She's amazing. A relatively wasted Mahershala Ali. He is in a few scenes in the film, and he definitely looks menacing. If you've seen the trailers, he looks menacing, but they don't give him a whole lot to do. Same thing with Jennifer Connelly. Same thing really with Christoph Waltz, and that's why I'm going to come down harder on the film in a couple of areas, because there's this whole subplot between Christoph Waltz and Jennifer Connelly's characters because they used to be husband and wife. And they want you to kind of care about it, and they stick it in, they like pepper it in, like pop, 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 little bits, little plot points here and there, but it never really sells the whole thing, like 100%. It never really sells it as a complete narrative. You know what I mean? It seems like an afterthought. It seems like, well, maybe they just shoved it in there really quickly at the end to try to maybe get some more emotional resonance for the Alita character. It's just, it never really comes off because you just don't get to see them really on screen together very much at all. They maybe share 2 scenes together, maybe for a minute of total screen time. Like, it's just an afterthought, it feels like. So, wasted, but like I said, Jennifer Connelly is still just a goddess. Oh, my Lord. Mahershala Ali wasted. Just completely and totally wasted in this film. This film could have done so much more with him, and I won't spoil exactly what they do with him in the film, but yeah, when you watch it, you'll be like, man, that's really all they got Mahershala to do? Really? One-time Academy Award winner. If, the money is right, if what everybody's predicting is right for the Oscars, going to be a 2-time Academy Award winner very soon. Like, really? Come on. You also get Ed Skrein as Zapan in the film. He's one of the bounty hunters in the film. You also get Jackie Earle Haley, Rorschach of Watchmen, and among other things, as Groishka, who, if you've seen the trailers, is that like big hulking robot with like the little tentacle hand finger things that come out. And I'll say this again, the effects in this film are mind-blowingly good. Even in my presentation in AMC, I had to watch it in 3D. There were no 2D showings, none. So I had to watch it in 3D, but the 3D is actually pretty good. The action is actually really, really engaging. You kind of 100% get right on board with Alita from the get-go. Like, she is an absolutely amazing character. Rosa Salazar's motion capture and just the emotive performance that she gives 100% sell this character as a living, breathing character in this world. You never doubt it for a second. She's absolutely amazing. She is the emotional core of the film, and she 100% carries it. The script kind of forces you through a few plot points really, really quickly. Like, all of a sudden, there was one scene that takes place in a bar, and I won't spoil it past that, but there's one scene that takes place in a bar, and it really just seems like they just floored the throttle to try to get some plot ground covered really, really quickly. And it feels a little bit like, wait a minute, what? Whoa, what? Huh? It's got a few of those moments in it, but her performance is so good. She is so engaging. She's so magnetic. I was 100% sold on that character from the minute I walked into that theater and sat down and the credits began and everything. 100% sold on this character. She is amazing, and she's a badass. Like, she's this tiny, tiny little teenage girl. The character's meant to be like a teenage girl. Absolutely. You 100% buy that she's beating the shit out of this giant hulking Russian robot. It's that good. It's great. And then, in the trailers you've seen as well, but, there's a point in the film where she upgrades to a different battle suit or whatever, and 100% believable how the whole thing plays off. There's also a sport in the film called motorball, which they shoot like this round ball that has like a rocket propulsion thing on it out onto a track, and it races around a track, and you have to race around the track, and it's kind of a bloodbath sport. Like, they're mostly cyborgs that are racing in the film, but it's kind of a bloodbath because they're all just mutilating and obliterating each other in a variety of really, really nice, fun ways. So the motorball stuff is exhilarating. The action sequences are amazing. And it's just a gorgeous visual spectacle. I mean, again, you've got Robert Rodriguez in the chair, who is no stranger to visual spectacle, and you've got executive producing and co-writing the script of this thing, James Cameron, who, you know, this thing has been like kind of floating around in the wings. He's had the rights to this because this is a manga and an anime. He's had the rights to this thing for almost 20 years, like back to the early 2000s, but because of Avatar and because of, you know, a litany of other things, it got delayed because he wanted to wait for technology to look good. You know, I think when you think about the photorealistic CGI that they do in this film, I think of things like what Matt Reeves did in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War for the Planet of the Apes especially, where you're 100% convinced that, you know, the effects are just that good that you're watching real apes that are talking and shooting guns and riding horses. This is kind of the same thing. It puts a living, breathing cyborg. I mean, she doesn't look real, quote unquote. She's got gigantic anime style eyes, which I love that aesthetic. Love that they incorporated that into the film. But she looks 100% a physical part of this universe. You never doubt it for a second. You never doubt it for a second. Like I said, I love the action sequences in this film. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And even though the script has its issues, and even though, like I said, you wasted a couple of really, really big name actors and just Kenan Johnson, go away. My Lord. See the film because it leads into a sequel. Definitely leads into a sequel. This is definitely meant to be part of a series. And right now it's kind of hanging on the hooks of worldwide box office. It hasn't opened in China yet. It hasn't opened in a number of places in Europe yet. So it could still do really, really well. But go see this movie. It already beat expectations domestically. And I'm really, really hoping that this film has legs because it's just a visual feast. It's absolutely wonderful. And, you know, you see the trailer and it's like, it might not be for me necessarily. Give it a chance. It's not perfect. You got to go in with the right set of expectations. They can't be super high or you're going to be super let down. I was excited for the film and it didn't let me down in that regard. So I am going to throw a rating of 7 out of 10 on Alita Battle Angel. Like I said, it definitely has a few issues, but none that really, really restrict me from just spouting all sorts of love about just the action sequences. And I can't say enough how good Rosa Salazar's performance is as Alita. No kidding. Think Andy Serkis as Gollum. Think Andy Serkis as Caesar in the Apes films. In terms of an engrossing mocap performance where you're completely invested in that mocap character's journey, 100% pulled it off in this film. And if it did anything successfully, that was what it needed to do. And it succeeds very, very admirably. I can't wait to see what Justin thinks of this film. I'm pretty sure he really, really enjoyed it. But I'm sure we'll hear a little bit more about what he thought about the film next week on the show. I was doing so well there for so long. It's just like, words are hard. I'm Kenan Johnson, and I'm delivering lines. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned. I'm going to take a quick break here for another podcast partner for the live stream for The Cure. Once again, mark those calendars, May 17th through the 19th. Please, please, please join us. It's going to be an absolutely amazing time. Stay tuned, because on the other half of this break, we're going to get into your hot takes. Alrighty. And ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be right back as well. So let's see. Hang in. All right, I'm going to be right back as well. So you guys hang tight, and I'll be right back. Alrighty. All right, I think I'm going to do one more little footprint, so hold tight for about 10 seconds. If anybody wonders why I do that, it's because there's a lot of ambient noise in here, and when I run noise reduction, I like to have a nice little section that I can just copy and just wipe it all out. But with full mic volume, obviously. All right. So the last thing that we've got to do is hot takes. All right. So let me... Oh, boy. What did I just do? Everything still looks okay. All right. Thought I broke something. All right. I still don't have, for whatever reason, I still don't have the hot takes drop on the board. I'm going to do that right now. There we go. All right. So we are back live in 5, 4, 3, 2, and welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, and it's time for your hot takes.
It's too hot today.
And we are going to be going over to Facebook because that's where I posted for this week's hot takes, right on the Facebook page. Michael Cicchetti, amazing visuals, a few great one-liners, but dragged down by the forced romance and lack of complex world building. I would agree about the forced romance. I would disagree about the lack of complex world building. I don't think you need to cram a whole ton of stuff in here because we're very clearly getting a sequel, which is something that Tristan Schuler mentioned. He was annoyed that the entire movie was just setting up for a sequel. I disagree with that necessarily because there is still a very, very, very full character arc for Alita in this film, and that really was what it was trying to sell, was her as a character. DeMarcus Hamby said, good movie. 3D was underwhelming, but seeing in IMAX is a must. I wish. Our good friend, Destruction in Human Form, Jared Taylor. Jared, we love you. 7 out of 10. Great visuals and action. Some good performances. Generic story. Needs to be seen on a large screen. Robert Moreno, our resident kaiju expert, thought it was okay. Visuals are great. Story was cool. He said he don't know if he liked... Wait. He said he doesn't know if he liked the sport they're playing. It reminded him of rollerball. I'm not going to lie, Robert. I also had that same thought when I was watching it in the theater. Mercurio Osterman loved everything about it. Loved everything about it. Andy Campbell also loved it. And Joe Nanoski, who notoriously hates everything. Way more. You think I hate everything. Over on our Facebook page, one of our fans, Joe Nanoski, every time we post literally anything, trailer, news, whatever, he usually comments, meh, boring, stupid, I don't care, it looks dumb, whatever. Excellent film, he said. Excellent film. We finally found something that Joe Nanoski likes. I, for one, am shocked. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for getting back to us with your hot takes. We really, really appreciate it. Let us know what your hot takes are whenever we post out for them, and you just might get a shout out on the show. And that's it. That's all I've got for you guys tonight. I'm looking at my recording time, including a whole bunch of silence parts and a whole bunch of other stuff I got to cut out. Only about 45 minutes. So, without Justin here to kind of bounce off of, you get half of the length of the normal show because we usually run about a 90-minute show. So, it is what it is. I really, really, really do appreciate everyone that's coming out, and I also appreciate everyone that came out on Twitch tonight and on Periscope and joined in the live stream. Again, we're going to be live broadcasting every single episode of the show between now and the live stream for The Cure, May 17th through the 19th. 40 hours of content, all to raise money for the Cancer Research Institute. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be such a fun time, and we're going to have so many amazing, amazing guests like the podcast partners that you heard promos for during this show. So find us everywhere on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Epic Film Guys. 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 Find us on the podcatcher of your choice. Stitcher, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, where we're hosted. Thank you, Podbean. We love you. And again, if you're a podcast and you're listening to this, you want to be part of the live stream for The Cure, head over to livestreamforthecure.com to get more details on that. Next week will be our post-Oscars wrap-up show, and I know Justin's going to want to talk about all the films that he missed out on talking about this week. And we're going to have, I don't know, who knows what else as we roll into 2019 in film. If this is your first time listening, thank you. If you're a long-time listener, thank you. This is not our normal show. Usually there's another guy in here who's really loudmouthed, and he likes to talk about all sorts of random stuff.
Hey, you over there.
He sounds kind of like that, but less hoarse and less drunk.
Hey.
There. Oh, I love my Hopster soundboard. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time we have for today. So for myself, for Justin, and for the god of podcasting himself, have fun at Alamocon Loisos. Thank you all so much for listening. And until next time, we will see you at the movies. I love you too, Bill. Thank you very much for stopping by the live show. And I liked doing the Q&A. The Q&A was really, really fun because that's just kind of a little live bit. We'll probably do some Q&As as we go forward on the show with doing the live stuff for Twitch. We'll probably do some Q&As, maybe not as long, just because I was just here by myself and it was like, well, what am I supposed to do? I had to completely, with my computer issues and stuff, I had to completely rebuild my entire screen overlay, which I'm actually kind of really happy with. I like the banner on the side, and when we do live shows with a peer, I'm actually going to be, this is actually the way the camera window is going to look. It's just going to focus on one of us, and I'm going to be switching back and forth between whoever is the primary, kind of talker at that point in time. Just kind of a little bit of directing behind the scenes on Epic Film Guys. So, I added the Hot Take sound drop to the wrong soundboard. I added it to the Hopster soundboard, and not the normal soundboard. I don't even know. I do not even know. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I love you. Thank you so much for listening, for stopping by, for whatever. What am I doing here? What am I doing? I don't even know. Why do I not have... Hang on. See, why do I not have... our normal outro in here in full? I should have our normal outro in here in full. I don't even think I have it on here in a non-faded form. And stuff like that. There you go.
You believe in Jesus? Yes, I do. Well, you're going to meet him.
Oh, I think that is as good a way to end a show as any, ladies and gentlemen. So I really, really appreciate you stopping by, checking out the live stream. Again, tune in every Monday or Tuesday night, depending on exactly when we get a chance to record, for EFG Live right here on Twitch, twitch.tv/epicfilmguys. If you're not already and you're watching this either live or after the fact, smash that follow button up there so you get notified and you can follow us and you can watch along with every time we live stream the show. We really, really appreciate it. So thank you guys very much, and you guys have an absolutely amazing night. And I'm going to roll us out with some Jordan Green. Thanks, everyone.